But one day, things changed when I put my foot on a wire as a part of a world record attempt 8-person pyramid. And we fell. Suddenly, nothing was the same. Maybe you've had a terrible experience that caused you to fall, to question all that seemed stable in your life. Maybe you grew up with an abusive parent or are in a relationship with a manipulative partner. Maybe you had a fight with a loved one or accepted a new job only to find out your boss is harsh and overly demanding. Maybe you were in a car accident or experienced a sudden illness or financial downfall you never saw coming. Maybe it was a virus that rocked an entire world. Whatever your circumstance, this book is for you. It's a book about fear, something we all face. Fear that tells us we're not good enough to do whatever we were made to do. I'm writing it for you because I want to share what I've learned from a long and hard-fought journey. The Wallenda Legacy. In 1978, my great-grandfather Carl Wallenda fell to his death from a high wire strung between 2 buildings in San Juan, Puerto Rico. He was in his 70s, old for a wire walker, and the rigging of his wire just wasn't right. In the video footage, you can see him sit down and then start to grab the wire, something that we have been trained to do for generations. The wire is our safe spot. But once he got down to the wire, he didn't have the strength to hold on. Doctors told our family that there was such a surge of adrenaline to his heart, it overwhelmed him and quite possibly caused him to go into cardiac arrest. In turn, he fell from the wire. We are sure his age and several previous injuries were major contributors to his not being able to handle the adrenaline rush. Doing the one thing he was trained to do to keep safe led to my great-grandfather's death. I grew up watching that video because my parents were wire walkers too. In fact, they met because my great-grandfather recruited them both to be part of his troupe. Back then, there were still plenty of circuses that traveled the world, and the Great Wallendas were a big draw for many. My family's patented style of aerial courage, working without the safety of a net, was always a highlight of any show. We were superb at it. So much so that when I was barely 2 years old, I climbed onto a wire for the first time. My mother remembers watching me atop the practice wire in our old backyard, how I patiently climbed up to the wire, which was only 2 feet off the ground, and then quickly stepped out onto it. It didn't take me long to fall, but I picked myself up, got back on the wire, and tried it again. That's also what we do. Mom said it took me no time to get the hang of it. It was as if I were born to walk the wire. In the years since, I've come to that exact conclusion. I was born to walk the wire. As a believer in God, there's no such thing as chance to me, so my family's background, history, and culture were all necessary ingredients that I would need in order to become who God designed me to be. I grew up hearing the stories of our family's calling, the dangers of risking our lives to show people what is possible. I heard about the small accidents that caused injury and about the big accidents that killed members of my family. We told those stories as a way of remembering the past, but even more so as a way of staying focused in the present. Because when you perform on a wire, there is no room for fear. That's what my family believed, and it's what I grew up believing too. One of the stories that we frequently told happened in Detroit in 1962. My great-grandfather was a pioneer in the aerial arts. He was constantly inventing new and amazing feats that could be done on a wire, and one of his most outrageous stunts involved 7 people in 3 tiers, 4 walking the wire with 2 people balancing atop them, and another person balancing atop those 2. As they moved across the wire, he called it the 7-person pyramid. The act became an immediate sensation, and great-grandfather brought his troupe to Detroit to perform it at the Shrine Circus in the Michigan State Fairgrounds Coliseum. In front of a crowd of 7,000 people, the Flying Wallendas took to the wire strung 35 feet above the Coliseum floor. While there's no video of the incident, there are accounts that someone cried out, "I can't hold on anymore," before the entire group toppled and fell to the ground. 2 of the troupe members, Richard Fawnin and Dieter Shep, were killed.